Hello and welcome to another episode of World Football Summit at Home. Hope you're all doing good and keeping safe. My guest today is Iván Codina, Managing Director for La Liga in Southeast Asia since 2017, and therefore one of the main drivers of the remarkable growth that the Spanish League has experienced in the region over the last few years. Hello, Iván. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Paco. How are you?
We're here working from home like we have been during the last month, and it seems that we will continue to do so over the next following weeks. Iván, first of all, you're currently based in Singapore, a country that hadn't been too impacted by the coronavirus, but things have changed significantly during the last few days. So first question, how are you doing right now? And how is this coronavirus affecting you personally and professionally?
Well, as you can see, today I'm taking this call from home as well, like pretty much everyone else nowadays. In Singapore, like you just well said, the things have evolved in a difficult way the past few days, and now everybody is already in lockdown at home, and the number of cases is been increasing, drastically in the past few days. So the local government is taking the right measures to try to have the COVID-19 under control. So that means that for the time being, I'm working from home like everyone else, all my colleagues, trying to overcome the challenges of working home with kids running around. But so far, so good. In terms of how this is being affecting our business, well, as you can imagine, it's had a massive impact. So right now we are just trying to have an open discussions with all our stakeholders and assessing the situation and see how we can best accommodate or to overcome this situation altogether.
Yes, one of the issues that coronavirus is revealing, Iván, is that in terms of content, football perhaps relies too much on live events. We know LaLiga's putting a great effort in producing new and engaging formats tailored for the different markets, such as behind the scenes content, of course, serious documentaries. Esports competitions like La Liga Santander Challenge, which was a huge success, and in fact it's being replicated all over the world, and even a virtual music festival, La Liga Santander Fest. Would you say that this is one of the major challenges that the industries will be facing in the next few months? And if so, how is La Liga tackling this in the Asian market?
Well, for us, we consider ourselves as an entertainment company, as in sports and entertainment. So we live in this space, and for us, it's no longer just about the 90 minutes on the field of play. The consumption behavior is changing. It's been changing, drastically in the last, few years, and the millennials and all the youngsters, that follow La Liga, sometimes they're more interested in other sort of content rather than the highlights or what's going on the 90 minutes on the field of play. So that being said, that gives us an opportunity to find different ways to engage with these fans, right? So we focus a lot on what happens, before and after and during the week. That's very important because there is we have identified a huge increase and a huge demand for appetite for this kind of content, and then we always try to develop new ways to engage with our existing fans and also to attract other fans that may not necessarily be the traditional football fan, right? So we always been quite creative and trying to identify other contents, and that's why our slogan is it says it's not football, it's La Liga, right? So we have multiple events and projects that we work from La Liga. One of that I would like to highlight here is La Liga Sports. For us, we contribute, with all the different more than 60 national associations from different sports in Spain, and we subsidize parts of the annual budget, and in return we get to engage with some of the top athletes that they are relevant in different parts of the world. So in this part of the world, for example, we have Carolina Marin, who is like a current number 2 or number 3 badminton Olympic gold medalist, and she's a great ambassador for La Liga, because here in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, badminton is huge, right? So we can extrapolate this example to many other disciplines. And then, like you well said, we've been currently working and also see how we can best, support, the fight against the current situation in Spain. Is a global, crisis that we are living here. But of course, La Liga is trying to see how we can, been coming up with events like La Liga Fest or La Liga Esports, challenge, where we have been raising funds to support the fight against coronavirus, and being able to buy some medical stuff, for the hospitals, in order to be able to fight, the coronavirus.
Well, the good thing, Iván, is that all these initiatives that you were talking about, like La Liga Santander Fest and La Liga Santander Challenge, and they seem to prove that regardless of the situation, the power of football remains, right? The power of football to create global movements, and in this case, to raise funds for good causes, like in this case, fighting against coronavirus. So I guess that's a positive note. As La Liga's managing director for Southeast Asia, you've done an excellent job in the last few years growing the competition in this region, in which we have to say that the Premier League was very deeply rooted. You've achieved great results, not only in terms of TV rates, but also engaging local fans and becoming a part of people's lives that ultimately. I know hosting on-site activations around football matches together with local broadcasters and partners play a crucial role in La Liga's famous local strategy. So I'd like to ask how you're managing to keep the ball rolling for the clubs now that there's no action going on.
Well, I mean, these days everybody is being hit, one way or another, from the coronavirus. So it is very important for us, to have an even better communication with all the different stakeholders than we had up until now. So it's very important to work with the likes of the broadcasters, with the existing, commercial partners, with the different leagues that we partner, to listen to the fans and see how we can all support each other. So for us, it's very important to identify ways in which we keep, offering value to the association that we have with our stakeholders. So, like I said before, luckily for us, a partnership with La Liga, it's not necessarily just about what happened on the 90 minutes of the live match in Spain. It's much more than that. So we're trying to see exactly how we can develop a specific, content for depending on the market that we feel that it's going to be more engaging for both our fans and our commercial partners or our broadcasters. So we have been working very, very close, especially with broadcasters and commercial partners, in defining what is the best way to engage with both our fans, right? Having said that, we also try to, and this is something that we really learned in the last few weeks. We also need to try to be sensitive of what's going on right now, because it's not necessarily now the right time, to be seen as very pushy as you're trying to promote your brand. Right now is the time that, yes, of course, it's okay to continue engaging with the fans and trying to be creative and see what is the best way to come up with relevant content for the market. But also it needs to be a little bit sensitive, sometimes, some of the feedback that we receive from some of our existing partners is that they prefer to, put a hold, and get less exposure right now, and focus on getting things right, and getting ready for when the situation gets a little bit better.
Iván, La Liga has been very focused on its internationalization strategy ever since Javier Tebas took office, and that has definitely paid out. I suppose once things go back to normal, it will continue to be a priority, since there's still obviously a big room for growth in some markets. Are you working on strategies to sort of relaunch the league when this eventually happens? Because I suppose the Asian market will continue to be crucial, since everything suggests that it's going to be one of the first markets in the world to recover from the crisis.
I mean, yes, as internationalization of the league is one of the biggest strategies and objectives right now. We still have a long way to go to grow our brand and our presence in a lot of markets. In this region in particular, we have a lot of room for improvement. I would not call it necessarily that we're going to relaunch like that strategy, but that being said, what we do start work on is on trying to see what is the best way to make sure that everybody is aware that the league or the competition is resumed when it comes the right time. We've been working and as you know, we have a project called LaLiga Global Network, which we have delegates, over 50 delegates sent across the world. So in this part of the world, we also have 9 of these delegates based in 9 different markets, and we're trying to see what would be the best way once the competition is resumed, and hoping that this is going to happen in the next couple of months if we want to be optimistic. And so we've been trying to develop ideas and an activation plan for the remaining 11 matches. But again, there's a lot of uncertainty, and also we need to take care and make sure that we understand what the situation is in each of the different markets. It might not be the same in Singapore when it comes to time that in Indonesia or perhaps Japan, right? So, but yes, we definitely working on what is going to be the launch of the rest of the competition. Like I'm trying to send across a message of hope, and try to keep people positive, and I guess that once we see that football is going back to life, probably that would be seen as a message of hope for everyone.
Unfortunately, Iván, we know that the coronavirus is going to hit hard on European clubs, on European football, mm-hmm. and we've already seen several big clubs have announcing layoffs and pay cuts. And we'll probably be seeing more in the upcoming days. I'm curious to know how's the crisis affecting Asian football? What impact do you think it will have on emerging leagues such as the Chinese, the Japanese, or the Thai league?
Well, everybody is getting hit, right? And football industry in particular it's an industry that is massively been hit. It's a different, we need to understand that ecosystem of the different leagues in the region. We have the more developed leagues as the Chinese Super League or J League or K League or even the A League in Australia. And then we have probably the more or the less developed leagues in Southeast Asia and other parts of the region. In the more developed leagues, perhaps there is if you compare to the European top leagues, maybe the impact is a little bit less because in Europe the top leagues are heavily depending on massive TV broadcasting deals. In this leagues they also depend a lot, or they depend also on broadcasting rights, but it's not the same proportion of if you compare to the top European leagues. So a lot of the top clubs, especially, they depend more on the private investment of some big local companies, and that gives you an idea that the impact, it might be a little bit lessened than as compared to the top European leagues. Whereas for the less developed leagues in the region, well, they normally don't have much revenues coming from the sponsorship or from the TV rights. So it's still gonna be challenging for them. Right now, we're even looking at leagues that might not even be able to go back next season, and they will need to stop for a while. So it's a complete disaster. Most of the clubs cannot pay the players. So the situation is a little bit worrying. I don't know if AFC is going to be able to send some support to these leagues, but I know that right now it's going to be challenging times ahead, for them. But again, it's going to be everybody is being hit. So those that manage to get the right way and identify what is the opportunities out there once this situation gets a little bit better, hopefully they will bounce back stronger, and hopefully it is the time for some of these leagues to revamp and get a little bit more closer to the more developed leagues in the region.
Obviously, the good news is people anyway will continue to be passionate about sports and football, or perhaps even more. That's a good part. But this crisis is certainly going to reshape the industry, Iván. Which do you think will be the main consequences and challenges in the future moving forward for football properties such as La Liga?
Like you just said, Paco, I think it's going to be, it's very hard to guess what it's going to be like, in the next few months when things start settling down. There's so much it's been said that the life as we know is never going to be the same. I'm sure it's going to be some opportunities. I'm sure there's going to be some things that are going to change. It's difficult to say which ones. I just can say that those that can be more flexible to adjust to the new circumstances, that are going to be the ones that definitely are going to make it back, and are going to even look at the brighter future. So that's what we are working on right now. We know that it's going to be a very challenging path, first, to try to resume the competition in the next few months. And also, it's probably going to be in some circumstances that we are not familiar with and that probably are being defined right now. I particularly think that it's going to be an opportunity to be more creative on digital and the way that we try to bring the game closer to the fans. Let's not forget that ultimately there's only a few, lucky, fans that are able to attend to the matches at the stadiums, but there is a huge, amount of millions of fans out there that they never had a chance to go and experience live the competition. So the way that we engage with the fans all over the world, I think will improve. Due to the current situation, I think it's going to be a big opportunity to improve on digital and content, that be more creative when it comes to engage with the fans. Probably is going to be more challenging when it comes to secure partnerships. We will need to be more, the rights holder, we will need to be more creative and coming up with additional value to convince, some of the brands out there willing to, to looking for an association with our league. So I think that's going to be a challenge probably. But after all, I want to remain positive. Everybody or a lot of people says, "Oh, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very different." But hey, perhaps this is going to be an opportunity to bring the football industry to the next level. And like you just said, a bit earlier, there's always that appetite, for entertainment, for sports, for football. So I don't think it's gonna disappear. Probably it's gonna be different, but I take it as a an interesting challenge and see how we can best, overcome this situation, how we can best prepare for it, how we can identify those opportunities that I'm 100% sure that will arise, and hopefully, next time you and me we are chatting, we are looking at the brighter future than that it might look right now, or I think more than brighter now is a lot of uncertainty, but I prefer to remain positive, and I'm sure that we will overcome this situation, and hopefully we will come up stronger and with an even higher proposition for our partners.
Well, let me say that if it's going to be a matter of being innovative and digital, then La Liga is going to be in an excellent position, since it's already proven to be one of the most innovative brands across the global sports industry, and one of the most popular on social media with over 100 million followers. Iván, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations for all the great initiatives that you've been launching over the last few weeks, and we're definitely going to stay tuned to La Liga channels, since I'm sure that there's much more to come. Take care of yourself and take care of your family as well. And of course, we hope to see you soon and be able to stretch your hand at a football match, or hopefully at one of our World Football Summit events.
100%. Thank you very much, Paco. An absolute pleasure. Also wishing all the best for you and everybody who will listen to this interview, and everybody stay safe. And I'm sure we will come back stronger.